morning, everyone. This is Diane Murray at Southern Art Gallery, and today we're going to talk about complements. Complements are colors that are opposite on the color wheel. So that would be yellow and violet. These are the most common complements that everyone knows, red and green, and blue and orange. But there are also other complements that are just as important. There's yellow-orange and blue-violet. There's yellow-green and red-violet. There's blue-green, which can be turquoise, and a red-orange. And the more you learn about your complements, the more varied your paintings will appear. And the most valuable thing to know about complements is that if you dull them down, they end up making neutrals. So if I have a yellow that's too bright and I add a small amount of violet to it, I can mute it down and soften it and get it to more of a pleasing color. They're wonderful for shadows. It's really important to learn about complements. And in our class, not only we'll talk about complements, but we'll talk about near complements. Near complements are complements that are nearby, but not quite a perfect complement. And sometimes it's very hard to tell if a color is a true complement or a near complement. So what I suggest you do is to take your yellows and your violets and try different combinations of different yellows and different violets and find the most pleasing complements that you can find that you just happen to like the best and that make natural, nice neutrals. So here I've taken lemon yellow and ultramarine violet, and as you can see, you get lovely violet and green neutrals, but you don't get a true neutral with that combination you don't get a variety of neutrals, so it's fairly limited. Leaf green and quinacridone violet, you get a lot of nice greens and brown neutrals, so they neutralize each other real well, both of these do. And they make some interesting color combinations, but they're probably not the best for making neutrals. This is the green and the red here, so imagine that's pyrrole red, and I think I made this green with the yellow and the blue. So you can, if you don't have a green, you can always make it and then use it in these combinations. This is turquoise and pyrrole red light, and you get some really interesting combinations with this particular complement set. Lots of very nice darks. You can get nice dark blacks, you can get maroons, and really interesting colors. So even though these are tertiaries, this is a really interesting complement mix to me. Here we have cobalt and transparent pyrrole orange. And this is a classic combination of blue and orange, and you get gorgeous, gorgeous colors in here. You get really rich dark blues and blacks and greens, and well, not so much green, but browns. Just gorgeous. I love this combination. And this is dioxazine violet and Indian yellow, which are both very vibrant, heavily saturated pigments. So you get some really beautiful complements in here as well. So if I were going to actually do a yellow and a violet, it would probably be this one with the Indian yellow and the dioxazine violet. I really like that combination. And over here I've done some more. This is quinacridone rose and phthalo green. And you can see you get really nice, deep, dark, almost blacks. Well, you can get a black. This is one of the classic mixes for black. These are actually a true complement. And if you see that you can get a pure black or a pure gray, then you know that they're good complements for each other. This is alizarin crimson and phthalo green, and you get some lovely mixes here too. Not quite as nice as with the Quin Rose, in my opinion. This is pyrrole red and phthalo green. You get some nice darks with that as well. This is pyrrole red and sap green. This is a disappointing combination. I think sap green has too much yellow in it. It pushes your colors all to the brown kind of neutrals. Just not a very attractive mixture as far as I'm concerned. This is Burnt Sienna and Ultramarine, which is a classic complement mix and makes lovely neutrals. This is probably the most famous complement mix that everybody uses, is Burnt Sienna and Ultramarine Blue. This is Transparent Pyrrole Orange and Cobalt Blue, and it gives you some lovely browns and almost violet colors, very nice darks. This is PO48, which is quinacridone rust and M. Graham. It's quinacridone gold deep in core. Lots of people have this pigment, but if you mix this, which is a dark pigment, with a PB60, which is a dark pigment, you get these incredibly beautiful dark neutrals. And here's the Indian yellow mixed with the cobalt blue, which would be a near complement, not a true complement. And you can see you get some really nice mixes there. This is cadmium orange and phthalo blue, which makes gorgeous, gorgeous neutrals. So, with that being said, this is how I suggest that my students make a chart. And I take the cobalt and mix a little in. And then I'll mix a little bit more of the into one color or the other, and just push it more and more, and just see the different combinations that you can get here, and try to get as many as you can. If I do more cobalt blue, I'm going to get more to the earthier tones here. And this is how I do it. We just mix it up. You'll get a lot of nice browns. You can't, I'm not too successful at getting a true black here, but it makes this combination makes some really lovely browns. So this is how I do it. I just mix it up, add a little more ultramarine. And every time you mix in, I don't add more water. I just keep mixing the puddle I already have and adding to it. So there you have the cobalt blue with the transparent pyrrole orange, and you see you get some lovely neutrals. And the more swatches that you do, of course there's an endless variety of colors that you can get out of mixing these. Let's do the ultramarine. And we'll do the burnt sienna. This is that classic mix that I think everyone in the world knows about. This is also comes in a convenience color called Jane's Gray that Daniel Smith makes after Jane Blundell, who's a colorist who, let's see here. See, every time you add a little bit more of the complement, you get a slightly different mix. It really shows you what you can get here as far as variations. And for, you know, muted colors and shadows, complements are so very important. They also bring harmony to your paintings, because if you, now this makes a very nice vibrant dark. As you can see, you can get a true black here with this combination. This is probably the combination that I recommend most to my students, because you do get some really nice dark browns and blacks. But you can also, if you wash it down, you can get some really nice grays and really nice neutrals and for shadows. Okay, And the last one we're going to do, and what I suggest my students do is to pick every orange or near orange that you have. So that would even include like Indian yellow and some off oranges. And even blues like turquoise. Try them and see what you can get, what will come up with those. All right, this one's phthalo blue. Just about everyone has phthalo blue. Not everyone has cadmium orange though, which I actually don't even use. That's contaminated. Be sure and clean your brush in between. I don't routinely use this color, but I had it on hand. So if you have an orange and a blue that makes green, what that tells me is that there's too much yellow in this combination. So I'm getting a green every time. That's because the phthalo blue is overpowering the cadmium orange, which is surprising because cadmium orange is a really powerful color too. So this is one I would not recommend because they don't appear to be neutrals, even though I thought they would be. So that's why it's really important to test this out yourself with the colors you have. This is not a great combination, but very interesting though. You get some really interesting greens here. So you wouldn't really think that this would make this many greens, but all we're getting is green, so there you go. So that's why it's important to test your colors before you use them in a painting, because if you were searching for a neutral and you use this combination, I think you'd be really disappointed. Although we do have some really nice earthly greens there, so if you want rich dark neutrals, I would use the ultramarine and the burnt sienna. If I wanted softer, more delicate neutrals, I would use the cobalt and the transparent pyrrole orange. And of course that depends on if your underlying hues that you're using are blues and oranges. If you have a painting that's made with violets and yellows, then I would go with that combination. So you have to adjust your complements to whatever the overall color scheme is that you're using. So I hope you found this helpful, and I will try to get some more videos out to you, and hopefully this lockdown will end soon and we can all get back to our classes and our businesses and stay safe and healthy, and we will see you soon.